up turning it into a profitable, if illegal, racket. Well, I met up with Matthew McConaughey in London last week to find out what first persuaded him to portray Ron Woodruff on screen.
You've tested positive for HIV, which is the virus that causes AIDS. Mr. Woodruff, have you ever used intravenous drugs? Have you ever engaged in homosexual conduct?
Homo? You say homo?
Yep.
That's what she said, didn't it? Look at me. What do you see? Huh? The goddamn rodeo's what you see. It got submitted to me about 4 years before we made it. And upon first read, I loved the script. I mean, I thought it was very original. I thought it was this wild lead character that was based on a true story that I'd never heard of.
Is it harder when you're doing true stories? In the sense that you're portraying someone who is real, his family are still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, does that generate more responsibility?
Well, I think it generates maybe some more responsibility, but you have a template to work off of. You have real information to work off of. I had video of this guy. I had 16 hours of transcripts of this guy being interviewed. I had his diary. I had his sister and his daughter open up their house and talk about it. So that was the place I went to. I didn't have to go to the imagination too quickly.
Well, what about the issue of whether he was, in fact, bisexual? Because obviously in the film, he's straight and pretty homophobic, and it's come up, hasn't it?
That's recently come up. I don't know if that's come up just because, hey, now's the season for that to come up. The film has come out, the film has been received well, it's been somewhat successful in the box office.
You read his diaries. You spend all that time reading his diaries, so I guess you must have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I got a real good idea. And the idea that I got is what I put on screen. You made a mistake. Must have mixed up my blood samples with some daisy bullet or something.
Mr. Woodruff, you can listen to me for a moment. I know this can be a very scary thing. I know you're probably feeling overwhelmed right now. But what we would like to do is to impress upon you the gravity of your situation. Based on your health, based on your condition, based on all the evidence we have, we estimate you have 30 days left to put your affairs in order.
30 days? I'm sorry. Let me give you a little news flash. There ain't nothing out there can kill Ron Woodruff in 30 days.
Did you see it as a risk at all, taking on the role? I mean, just thinking of Hollywood actors who've played characters with HIV. I mean, obviously Tom Hanks in Philadelphia springs to mind, but there aren't many others, are there?
Well, the story hasn't been told as a film. There's been more documentaries, How to Survive a Plague. There's been docudramas. The risk was that the materials scared me in the right way. The risk was in that I was like, wow, boy, there's a lot, there's so much to do here. And there's such a potential to do this well, McConaughey. It was such a rich story. It was like, how do I do justice to the story?
Would it have made a difference if he had been gay, from your point of view, and from your career point of view, or not?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say because what I know is that he wasn't. That was part of the original take on this, is that was from a heterosexual's point of view. That's part of what sets up this guy's complete denial in the beginning. That's what sets up his completely almost taking it personally, but challenging the doctor. That's part of what allows him to gain compassion and understanding later on when he's become one of the outcasts that he had casted out. So it's hard to answer that question. It wouldn't have been the same story.
I've been looking for you, Lone Star.
You know I could have killed you?
Listen, Tinkerbell, unless you got more cash or new clients, I'm busy.
You got enough for 20 hours?
Yep.
You know what? You don't deserve our money. You homophobic.
A lot of people have asked you, and I'm not going to ask you this directly, about the amount of weight you had to lose for the film, but it sounds like from what you're saying that actually, that is part and parcel of getting into the role physically, but it sounds like actually mentally it was pretty tough, just because he's such an intense character, isn't he?
Yeah, the weight loss, that was my responsibility as an actor to go play this guy. It's that simple.
Where do you go?